It's Friday, and that means it's time for the weekly RPG News Rundown. Tactical Adventures and Modifius are releasing a revised edition of the Solasta campaign book. The original Solasta, Crown of the Magister, is a video game released in 2021, which is based on 5e SRD rules. Now, the SRD does not include the subclasses from the full D&D system, so because it was only based on the SRD and not a licensed D&D product, the Solasta video game system had unique subclasses that were created for it. The campaign book will include these new subclasses inspired by the video game and information about the campaign setting. This is an interesting journey from tabletop origins to fleshing things out in a CRPG to then bringing those changes back to the tabletop. You know, I'd make an Ouroboros reference, but that would just feel like chasing my tail. We now know what will grace the cover of the new D&D Dungeon Master's Guide, as Wizards of the Coast has officially announced it. And it's actually 3 villains from the classic 1980s Dungeons & Dragons cartoon: Warduke, Skyla, and Venger. It's a nice bit of nostalgia to celebrate D&D's 50th anniversary, but it's the Dungeon Master's Guide, and they're showing his enemy, and as would have eventually been revealed, patricidal maniac's son? Really seems like kind of a middle finger to the guy the book is named for. The final book in the remastered Pathfinder Core series concludes with Player Core 2, now available for pre-order. This is the remastered equivalent of the Advanced Player's Guide. It contains new archetypes, feats, and ancestries. There are also new versatile heritages, one of which is only teased as an all-new heritage debuting in this volume. What could it be? I'm going to guess Reverse Centaur. A new edition of Overwar, The Night Comes Down, is now available on DriveThruRPG. It's billed as a tactical role-playing game, but in this case that seems to mean a full tabletop role-playing game with heavier than typical tactical elements. The way the marketing material puts it, inspired by classics such as Fire Emblem, Yggdra Union, Langrisser, and the works of Yasumi Matsuno, it combines the flexible storytelling and meaningful decision-making of tabletop role-playing with the hard tactical choices, territory control, and unit composition of strategy games. In this game, one player controls an entire unit, as in a miniatures game. The commander of that unit is the central player character controlled by that player. The commander can recruit and structure their unit by drafting from a roster of character types. Great, I can't even get enough players together for a weekly D&D game, and now they want me to recruit characters too? Warhammer 40k themed RPG Imperium Maledictum is finally getting its starter set. The set will contain a beginner-friendly adventure, a setting guide, a set of dice, some handouts, and 6 pre-gen characters. We don't know much about the adventure yet, but the setting book is a guide to a hive world, Rokarth. You can buy this set and escape into a fantastical world in which almost every life is insignificant compared to the political and industrial machinations of a small percentage of powerful people. Pathfinder's new sourcebook, Howl of the Wild, presents playable species a little further from typical humanoid. This includes merfolk, who can apparently operate these golf bag-like vehicles. Now, I wonder if this book will also include a new versatile heritage, like, say, a reverse merfolk? Wizards of the Coast is redesigning the look of dragons in the new 2024 books, and in a comicbook.com interview, Josh Herman revealed the new look for the Gold Dragon. It has smaller wings on its torso and an extremely long tail with a bit of winginess in it too. When viewed overhead, from head to tail, the Gold Dragon's silhouette resembles a sword. But no, power gamers, if you kill one, you cannot taxiderm it and wield it as a giant weapon. Coming soon to BackerKit is a new tabletop RPG based on the animated series Voltron. Catalyst Game Labs has licensed the IP for this new project. In the game, players form a team and defend the universe. As you might expect, if you know about Voltron, the game is about giant mech pilots who can assemble their machines into one giant mech. I never watched Voltron, but look at that. That guy's a wolf head for a hand. I would not want to piss off that guy and wind up getting punched, bitten, bite punched. Currently on Kickstarter is a new game from Hunters Entertainment, the creators of the popular Kids on Bikes game. The new game is the superhero-themed Kids in Capes. The theme of the game is teenagers who discover superpowers together and take on villains. A unique part of the game is that players begin without any chosen superpowers or any chosen super team roles. These things emerge as part of the roleplay, so the in-game narrative includes the origin stories. You know, I once tried to gain superpowers by arranging to have myself bitten by a radioactive spider. Yeah, I know hindsight is 20/20, but that Facebook ad was very convincing. Buzzfeed has announced its own D&D actual play series called Magic and Stuff. It stars an all-queer, female-identifying cast. DMing the series is Jasmine Boulard from Dimension 20. BuzzFeed says the target audience for the series is people new to D&D, with episodes being just 30 minutes long and including interstitial animations and segments with gameplay tips. No word yet, though, on how the inevitable "which character class should you date" BuzzFeed quiz will be integrated. A new tabletop RPG based on the manga Queerz has been released just in time for Pride Month. In the game, players become heroes battling against the so-called Justice Knights, who create obstacles and monsters through materially manifested ignorance. Queerz uses the same game engine as City of Mist, another game from the same publisher, Son of Oak Game Studio. Enemies in Queerz are defeated, not by being physically overpowered, but by being transformed into accepting themselves and others. So, refreshingly, the goals of the game are built around redemption, not might making right. What a lovely and aspirational vision that is. We were here, we were queer, and they got used to it. And with that, I wish you a happy kickoff to Pride Month beginning tomorrow. I'm Dave, and thanks for watching.